Titles, go.
The Incident.
Hughless.
Kid Cop.
Jesus. Rockabilly Rampage.
Should have been a cop.
Mailed in the mail.
All right. Corbs had a couple of titles too, but he's not here, so I'll rattle them off quick. He had Brain Bucket and Mr. Rousey. Let's do this.
Warning. What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Hello, welcome to this week's edition of Geek Pod. I'm your host, Paul.
Corbs. I'm Kev.
I'm Jack.
Boys, it's got you geeked.
Ooh, I got one. I got one this time. Remember a few weeks ago when my wife tried to kill me?
Yes.
Was I there?
No.
That just paid off.
Did it?
No, I didn't get a brand new
Oh.
bike. Yeah. I did get a brand new helmet, though.
Which is probably more important.
Let me just tell you, buying helmets sucks. Because if you don't want something cheap, you can't find someplace local to try it on. So I took a chance. I ordered one that I've always wanted, at least to try on. And with the understanding that I could return it for free if it didn't fit. Any of you guys ride motorcycles or know people that ride motorcycles?
I know a guy.
Other than me.
No, a lot of my friends.
People, yeah, people that ride.
So are they, the people you know other than me, are they kind of particular about their helmets? They have one brand and that's what they like?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's been me for probably 30 years. The only helmet brand I've ever wore was Shoei. It's a Japanese helmet manufacturer. They're very, very good helmets. They've always fit me just right. I've never been able to fit into another helmet as well as these Shoeis. Now, this is for motorcycles, ATVs, dirt bikes, stuff like that. Snowmobiles, I wear something different. The Shoei I have does not vent well, right? The one that I got damaged in the incident. It doesn't vent well. It never did from day one. And I never did return the helmet when I had the opportunity when I first got it. First ride on it, I knew I didn't like it, but I kept it. And overall, the helmet's been fine, but it just didn't vent very well. So I did a lot of research this time, and I come up with two brands that met my needs. One was Arai, which is another Japanese manufacturer, and the other one was Climb, which is kind of new. They've been around for a few years now. They make riding gear and stuff like that. And Polaris bought them a few years back. So the Climb helmet doesn't have as many features on it, but it's much, much lighter. I know friends that have that helmet. They love it. It's super light. It's awesome helmet. But I really wanted to try an Arai. Nobody carries them. They're a high-end helmet. They're kind of expensive. Carbon fiber shell, so very, very light. So I took a chance, ordered it, got it today, tried it on, took a ride on one of my bikes around the neighborhood, out, got the feel for what the ventilation's like, and it is perfect. Looks nice, fits nice. I'm so thrilled. The last time I tried an Arai on, which was probably 15 years ago, it didn't fit me. I couldn't get the helmet on. It was the correct size based on my head shape and head size. It wasn't the correct shape. So there's different head shapes. Like, bucket head over here has got a round head. Mine's more elliptical, right? So the Arais and the Shoeis don't fit the same. While this one, they've changed the internal shape and design, and it fits. Not only does it fit, it feels great. It looks great. Couldn't be happier. So that's what's got me geeked. I got a new helmet, and I am so pleased.
Nice.
Very cool.
Did you have to send away for it, Kev, or how'd you know it was the right size and all that? Like,
So
Because
the
they
only
said
way
it would fit SpongeBob. So
there you go.
uh,
So the only way to size helmets these days is to you measure your head where they tell you to measure it. You know, it's so far, you know, above the ears or whatever. It's the widest part of your head. Actually, it's the widest part of your head. It's typically above your eyebrows, and you use this cloth tape and you measure it. And then you take that measurement and you compare it to what the helmet manufacturers have on their website for sizing. And I knew exactly which size based on their recommendations. I looked at my helmet that I currently have, the Shoei, and exactly what Shoei states for that helmet. What size, the helmet shape, you know, the intermediate oval is what they call it. And I went to Arai and I said, okay, this helmet, intermediate oval, this is the size, let's give it a try. Like I said, the last time I did this years ago, didn't work out. This one, pulled it out of the box, put it on, perfect fit.
outstanding.
So do you know,
Very good.
Kev, when you ride, is it you use it for you ride dirt bikes too? You ride dirt bikes and street bike.
I have a dedicated dirt bike helmet, an off-road helmet.
Okay.
One specifically designed for just using goggles. It's very, very light, carbon fiber shell. I have tried it on a road bike, but the bill on it,
Yeah.
it just captures so much air that it just, you know, it pulls your head back.
Yeah,
It's really not, it's not good for road
Okay.
riding. These helmets, they have that kind of an off-road look where they've got a bill on them, but they have a regular shield. You can put the shield up and you can wear goggles if you want to ride off-road. So like dual sport riding, sometimes on the road, sometimes on
right.
off-road. So that's what this helmet is. It can be used for both. Although I wouldn't use this on a dirt bike. It's a little bit heavier. It's a little bit more cumbersome. And it doesn't vent as well as my pure off-road helmet. A pure off-road helmet or my snowmobile helmet, either one, the ventilation on them is fantastic. They flow so much air. You can't beat them.
I was wondering because I know some people, you know, I know some people that ride just on the road and have just a, you know, road helmet or whatever. I didn't know if you had, like, some guys wear the skull cap, stuff like that. I didn't know if you had something like that.
So that's a good question. I always wear full face. I do have like an open face helmet, but I don't have any of the little, you know, the little
Brain buckets.
beanie cap. Yeah, little beanie cap types.
Right.
I have an open face helmet that I just kind of wear around fields and stuff if we're like doing a race or something. But I always wear full face on the road. Here's a quick story for you. My wife actually got in an accident a few years back. She had a 400cc scooter, which is what they call a maxi scooter, the bigger ones, you know, full body work, meant for going on the road or long distance, whatever. She had her license, but she wasn't really that familiar with riding. So she had a little situation where she got into the gravel on the side and she was heading towards a ditch. So she jumped off it. She ended up in the road. The machine ended up in the ditch. She was fine. Shook up, obviously. But when she hit the road, her face hit the pavement.
Oh,
She had a full face helmet on and it scratched up, you know, the mouth area of the helmet and it scratched up her shield. And she was fine. And just imagine if she had one of those little tiny little bucket things on or an open face helmet. I mean, she could have been just that little bit of a fall, and she wasn't even going that fast. That little bit of a fall could have really messed her face up. So I'm a big fan of full face helmets, and I don't wear anything else.
all right. I was just wondering. That's all.
Nice. Good questions.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, on them TV shows with the bikers, they're either never wearing helmets or they have those tiny little
I've noticed
propeller
that.
hats.
Yeah, right. Like I've noticed. It's nice.
Well,
But I've
it's
noticed,
better
like,
for the camera if you can see their face.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I just finished up watching the Mayans final season tonight. So, but I've noticed that all those guys, they wear like the skull cap, the beanie cap, and I think Kevin's right. It's so that you can see their
Right.
face or whatever. And obviously, I mean, they're not like out there tooling around and whatnot. So, but yeah, that was the reason why I was asking. I didn't know if you had something like that too.
Some folks actually still have the rebellious sort of outlook on, you don't make me do what I don't want to do kind of thing.
Right.
They don't want to wear a helmet because they're told to wear one. If they want to wear one, they want to do it themselves, or they don't want to wear one at all, and they don't care about the consequences, or they understand the consequences and they're going to take them as they come. Those are the people that tend to wear minimal, whatever the minimum thing is that they have to wear. Other folks just wear it because they think it looks cool or whatever.
Right.
I like to do 300-400 miles a day on a motorcycle, and you can't do that with an open face helmet, not and actually feel good about yourself at the end of the day.
Right.
All right. I'll just keep mine
Anyway.
short. Very, very good, Kev. I'll keep mine short and sweet. What's got me geeked?
Read that before.
I know, right? So in February, I got a ticket while texting and while driving. So
You're evil.
I know. So I was real close to my job. The cop pulls me over, and he's like, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" I'm like, "No, officer. What was going on?" Because I was late for work, and I'm never late for work. So I was texting my boss. I'm like, "I'm almost here. Sorry about that." He pulls me over. This cop has to be like 19, 20 years old. So he's like a kid cop. He comes up to the lights, my window, and he's like, "You were texting and driving." I'm like, "I apologize, officer." And actually, I'm actually pretty calm. Usually I would probably be frantic a little bit, but I was calm about it. He's like, "I'll be right back. Give me your license." So he takes my license like really fast. I'm like, "Okay."
Wow.
So he runs my license, and he comes back, and he's like, "Okay, here's your ticket." He like shoves it in my direction, and like I have to catch it, which is weird. He doesn't hand it to me, and he holds my license, and he's like, "Okay, now tell your boss you're late for work." And I'm trying to grab my license. I was like, "Yes, officer, I will." He's like, "Tell him you're late." And he's holding my license. I was like, "Yes, officer, yes, I will." He's like, "Good." Yeah, seriously, it's like, what a fucking prick. So I look on the ticket, and I get to work, and and like I said, this is probably like my second ticket. I had my first ticket was a speeding ticket when I first got my license years ago. So that's not off my license now, my record. So I talked to my doctor, and he was like, "Oh yeah, plead not guilty because you have a clean record. It should be fine." Because I look it up. The ticket's $250 and 7 points on my license.
Woo.
I am fucked. I am fucked. So I literally look up this cop. I find his Facebook because I like Facebook stalked him. He has 2 guns going like this. I was like, what a fucking prick. He's literally okay. So I plead not guilty. I literally get my driving record. I have to pay that. Literally, I'm calling the county clerk because it keeps because I was like, okay, I'm ready to plead not guilty. They're like, "Oh yeah, we haven't received it yet. This is back in February. Do it in March.
He never turned it in.
Do it in April. Do it in May. Do it in June." And then finally I get it back. They say, "Okay, we're going to say you had obstruction view, but we need you to complete a defensive driving course." I was like, what the fuck? Come on. So I'm getting onboarded with my new job. And in between, you know me, I don't want to procrastinate. So I'm doing the defensive driving course. That's 6 hours long. So in between that, so I mail that. So I literally get everything done. Wait a week. Wait another week. So we're at this week finally. I'm getting it mailed to me in the mail. No points on my license. $30 I owe.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah, so since February 16th, 2023, we're at what? July 26th, 2023. I finally got my ticket resolved. Thank you, fucking New York State, for doing nothing.
Mine was handled in like a week.
Can I give you a hot tip on those kind of tickets?
Go ahead.
Wait to your court date. Go to court.
I
Do it
sure
all
have.
there. Do it all there. Twice I have had tickets. Once for a seatbelt and one for, I think I rolled a stop sign or something. Both times the sheriff never gave the court the tickets. So the judge is like, after the third person gets up for whatever, the thing is, and they realize they don't have the tickets, they're like, "Who's here for tickets on whatever date?" People all stand up. "Have a nice evening."
I literally should have went because this cop was like a little kid out of college. I felt he was like an asshole, probably in a fraternity. He was just an arrogant prick. Like I
Wow.
literally, I hated this
There's-
guy. He was a douche. Literally,
There
like, and
are-
he was like showing his guns off, and he was showing his tattoos. I'm like, fuck. Like, I have a lot of friends that are cops. I respect the authority, but this guy was a douchebag.
Yeah, I have friends that are cops too, and they actually fit this, what I'm about to say, and all of them, every single one of them. The vast majority of people that become police officers, especially sheriffs, are little boys with chips on their shoulders that were either bullies in school or were bullied.
Makes sense.
So they have a chip or something to prove, or both.
Guess I should have been a cop.
But
I was
my,
about to say, Paul, you do not want to be a cop.
I was
dad
this
was-
close.
my dad
I
was
was
a cop
this close.
my dad was a cop for a long time, and
Mhm.
he said that he hated giving tickets. That they're required to write
Oh
tickets.
yeah.
Quota. They have to meet their quota by the
Right.
month, right?
Every cop will say there's no quota. My dad's like, there's a
There-
quota.
They're required to do certain things to fulfill their job. They're not required to be a fucking douchebag asshole.
Yes.
That's choice.
Yeah. That's personality choice.
Yes, that's a personality. Exactly. Because why? Because people. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with the fact they have a badge on, although the badge and the gun give them a little bit of authority that they didn't have otherwise. But people are people. Power corrupts every single time.
Mhm.
What was it? Last thing, what was it? When I was probably 21 years old, I was driving back from Rochester with my dad. We're in the town of Jordan. And this was kind of funny. He was speeding, which he shouldn't have, because he had to drop me off and go right back to work. And then he went and then literally he went through a stop sign too. So he did a double. The cop pulled him over. I'm like, Dad, and he's like, no, we have to go. I'm like, Dad, and he's like, I was like, there's a cop behind you. He's like, fuck me. And literally the cop pulls him over, and literally the cop's like, okay, let me see your license and registration. My dad's like, here you go. My dad's all pissed off. And literally the cop comes back. He's like, okay, you were speeding and you rolled through a stop sign. He literally said these exact words. I can't make it up next. He's like, take your pick. Which one do you want to be dinged for? My dad's like this. My dad's like the stop sign. He's like, okay, I'll go write that up. Literally, and my dad literally was like, oh fuck it, I don't want to deal with these means. You want to go get a beer right now? I'm like, whatever you want, Dad, we'll do it. So, absolutely.
Okay.
And the
Some of-
cop was, he was like, take your pick. My dad's like,
Some of them are
"Stop
really
sign."
cool. Some of them
Oh,
are really cool. I've got lots of stories. I'll share them with you. The next time you come over to Paul's for a party, unlike this last time.
Oh shit!
I'll be there on Saturday. Like I said, I was at work till 11 o'clock at night.
Wait, what's going on Saturday?
Next Saturday. Not
Oh, he said Saturday.
he did.
He
Next.
did say Saturday.
I did say Saturday, but I meant to say next. I'm sorry, Corbs.
It's fucking terrible. Got me all confused now.
Terrible.
Terrible.
I'm gonna go speeding now.
Right. Through a
Take your
stop
pick.
sign.
Through a stop sign. For me, I don't really have much for what's got me geeked. I mean, it was nice seeing you guys on Saturday.
Us guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the three of you.
Yeah,
The two of you.
three. There was three.
There was three of us. Hugh was there. It was nice that Hugh came. I mean,
That's right. There was four.
there was
Yes.
four of you. Yep. We could have had a whole show if Jack showed up, but no, he decided to work instead.
Exactly. Fuck you, Corbs.
We could have had a pre-jack. We could have had a pre-jack show. Yeah,
Right?
that sounds weird.
Oh, that's fucked. I'm glad I missed that.
That's weird.
It was nice. It was nice hanging out. I wish I could have stayed a little bit longer. We ended up going to the Chiefs game, which was fantastic. I'm sorry, Mets game. Let's get that right. The
I
Mets
still
game.
call it that too. So don't feel
Yeah,
bad.
it's always going to be the Chiefs to me. It doesn't matter. But the Mets hit a walk-off 2-run homer to win. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. So it was nice. So and the fireworks after and all that stuff was good. So
Outstanding.
I got nothing else. Although my blood sugar's been pretty good. We were talking.
Even
about
Awesome. Fuck yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true.
I took it this morning. Well, this morning it was over 300, which obviously is not good. But when I came home today, it was 210. So it was
It's getting there.
330.
That's good.
3:30 when I left this morning for work, and then it was 2:10 when I got home from work. So whatever I'm doing during the day, eating wise, is helping. So I just gotta translate
Do
that.
that. Just do
More
more of that. Yeah.
So and I gotta stop eating after like 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night. So I haven't had anything since 7 o'clock tonight. So
That's good advice for anybody.
Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
Murder. Yes. And to continue the theme, mine is also my birthday just rolled around. We had a heck of a shindig for it. Yeah, that's a good time.
Good food.
Good food, yes.
and I gotta
Fuck
admit
yeah.
that food was those
Fuck yeah.
potato wraps, the loaded potato skin wraps that your wife made.
The ones I hate.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, they were awesome,
They
Corbs.
were
Fuck
freaking
them.
great.
I am literally the only person that
No,
does
no.
not like them.
Kelly
Yeah.
didn't like them either.
Oh, that's right.
What
yes.
was it? What was it?
Stuff?
It had like,
It's-
it had like shredded
It's got
potatoes in there.
breakfast hash browns, bacon, scallions, sour cream.
A sour cream like sauce kind of thing over the
Yeah,
top.
yeah. And then you put it in a tortilla shell, you wrap it up, and you
Yeah.
bake it in
And
the oven.
she bakes it. Yeah.
Really
sounds
good.
Now, I think it could have been maybe baked a little bit longer.
Yeah. Or on the grill.
Yes.
If it was done on the
Yes,
grill would have been good.
Yeah. I
If they
think
cut them first,
Yep,
and do them
and
on
then
the
bake
grill, so you get a nice little crusty all around them. Oh,
Yeah, see,
Get them all
Mourning
crusty.
tacos were pretty good too. I have to
Yeah.
admit.
the fucking tacos! I ate so many of them, I almost fucking blew up.
It's a good thing I bought like 30 of them.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, those were good too.
They were. That I got scolded because they were over seasoned because I said that the tacos we had a few nights before were kind of bland. So she did extra seasoning when she made that batch, and she
They
wasn't
were
happy.
fine to me.
Oh my god, I loved them. I thought they were
No,
awesome.
it was really good. I mean, it was a little salty, but that made it really good. Maybe drink more.
that's what we needed. Yes.
I was good.
Everybody was well behaved.
What time did you stay till, Kev? I know that you asked you were said about if I was gonna come back or not. Did you stay past 10 o'clock?
Like 10:30. Kathy was
Yeah.
getting a headache. Somebody
Yeah.
was wearing some really strong perfume.
Wasn't me.
Kinky.
It was Jack hiding in the bushes with his perfume on.
Sure. I
Um,
can't play that card.
He's waiting for the post Jack show.
right.
I knew you were gonna go with that one too.
But
You
yeah, it
wish,
was a
Kev.
good time. Good time was had by all. Everything ended up like wrapping up around 11:30 for good, and I immediately crashed out because I was exhausted and drunk. So
Did you have a fire?
yeah, we had a little bit of a fire after Kevin mutilated the wood. So
They had to make it small so it would light on fire. They were trying to light pieces of wood that were that big around. They couldn't figure out why they wouldn't light on fire. You don't start a fire that way.
They're trying to start the fire with a fucking log.
Yeah,
we had the
he's
log
holding-
in there, and
he's
we had
holding the fucking
had
lighter
shit
to that
around it.
freaking log, for fuck's sake. Oh, why won't it start? I don't
paper
know
went
what's
off great.
going
It was
on.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, fucking morons.
That's crazy.
We didn't start the fire.
I
Did you
think
get
that
those
played.
little starter bricks that you had from last year? Do you still have those?
Yeah, and I had a whole bag of kindling in the garage too that I just didn't go get. So
So I just made
Yeah.
some kindling. That's all I
you
did.
did.
Oh yeah, you do.
It worked too.
Yes. But, all right, let's keep this shit moving. Nobody's playing any video games, right?
Nope.
All
No.
right, then I guess it's time for Kev's tabletop review.
Okay, so I've got one for you this week. Found it on BoardGameGeek.com, and reading through it, it just looks like this is a riot of a game called None Shall Pass. The four heroes rose up against the blight and sealed its immortal remnants with their legendary power. Now, as the guard of the seal, it's up to you to keep the blight's minions from setting it free. Every guard in None Shall Pass has their own way to fight, and so do the monsters. With 8 guards to choose from and 20 diverse monsters, no game will be the same. There is the appeal. You have 8 heroes to choose in a 4-player game. The combinations, need I say it, are almost limitless. obviously they have a limit, but you get the idea. And with 20 different monsters, leveling 1 to 5 for each game, you build your heroes, you build their skills as you go up against heavier and heavier monsters, more and more difficult monsters. Now the game itself is it's a board based it's not a board based. Sorry, it's not. It's all cards. Yep, I know. I looked at a couple of them. I had to go back and look at the pictures. So the way this works is you set up your hero. You have three different sections and 3 different card decks, and levels 1 through I think 4, one on one side, 2, 3, then 4, and you have different options for the 3 die that you roll each turn. You have a 1 through 6 on your 3 cards, and based on the die you roll, you pick one of the die to do one of the tasks. And maybe that is to strike the monster, maybe that is to heal one of the other characters, maybe that is to level up. There's all sorts of things you can do each turn, and once you're done, if the monster isn't dead, they get their turn. So understanding the game is as simple as watching the very, very simple playthrough. And what I want to point out about this game is Aaron Packer, the gentleman that has created the game, also has a website, aaronpacker.net, as it would be, where he sells his game. He's the sole distributor of his game, and you need to go to the site if you're even remotely interested in this game. Go to the site, watch his overview of the game. This game just came out in 2022, so there aren't any other really reviews on it that I could find. But it's a very nice looking game. The images on the cards are actually like 8-bit digital characters.
Oh, cool.
So think about what it was
pixelated.
like. Yeah. So think about what it would have been like to have played an 8-bit game where you're playing heroes against monsters on your computer screen, and it's kind of that turn-based. Oh, we're going to use our special skills and our levels to do things against the monster or help each other, and then the monster is going to get its turn and do things to us. I mean, it just goes back and forth like that. Only this is card-based, and you sit around and you have a few drinks with friends, and you roll your die and you take your chances. Very, very cool game. BoardGameGeek.com. I'm going to read you some of the stats for the game. 2 to 4 players. They say best 2. I think Aaron actually said best is 4, and I'm going to agree with Aaron. 40 to 60 minute playtime, age 12 and up. And here's the best part: weight 1.67 out of 5. So they don't have a lot of people that have played it, so they don't really have a complexity rating yet. They don't really have a rating on BoardGameGeek.com yet. So just read through it first, take a look at it before you decide to make the jump. So categories are dice, fantasy, and fighting. Mechanism: it's a cooperative game. Dice rolling, turn order, so it's progressive. Variable player power and variable setup. It's the variable player power and the variable setup. I really like that, because that makes you want to play the game again, right? You want to play it again. You want to play it again over and over and over again. Game we talked about last time we were together, Ticket to Ride. There isn't really any variability in that, except maybe you might want to, you might take different routes, but really it's the same game every time you play it. These kind of games where the setup can be different every single time you play, I think that adds a little bit of a different complexity to it and makes it a little bit more interesting, so you can play it over and over and over again. This looks like a really good one. You're not going to like the next part, though. None shall pass, only available through thegamecrafter.com, $56 before shipping and tax. Yeah. So, but think about it like this. And I know it's expensive, but you have an individual creator, sole distributor, sole online sales presence. So it kind of makes sense that it might be a little bit more expensive. I mean, this guy's shouldering the cost of putting the game together and putting it out there. So kind of expensive. So definitely read up on the game. Check it out on BoardGameGeek.com. Read through it there. Wait till some more reviews come out. maybe going on it with a friend. If you have a friend you play board game or desktop, tabletop games with a lot, going on it with a friend, I think this is a very worthwhile selection, one that folks could very easily get into and enjoy. Very attractive game pieces. They're all cardboard based, no characters, no figures, anything like that. But very nicely done. I think it's worth a look.
Very cool. All right. Well, on that note, I think we're going to throw it to break. And since we're Hughless, we'll be going right into Coach Corbs' sports report. Stick with us, guys. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Craig Palmer. If you ever aspire to be a wrestler, come on down to Upstate Wrestling Entertainment, located at 1121 Glenwood Avenue in Nottingham, New York. We're open every Tuesday and Thursday from 6:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. Come on down and join us. See you then.
Sci-Fi Horror Fest is coming August 25th and 26th at the Vernon Downs Convention Center in Vernon, New York. Event hours Friday 3 p.m. until 9 p.m. Saturday 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. Heroes and Villains After Party for VIP ticket holders Friday night from 9:30 until 12:30 a.m. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is a 2-day genre event with the greatest collection of vendors, celebrities, and unique attractions in upstate New York. Get your tickets today at www.sci-fi-horrorfest.com.
Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a keyback issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore, located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking. Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics.
All right. Well, I guess without Hugh, it's all on me now. So, sports. I mean, couple things to talk about. Brian Harmon won the Open Championship, used to be called the British Open. Congratulations to him. He really kind of outshined everybody. Guys shooting some big scores, but he held steady 12 under. I think it's the most since 98. It's the most for the winner to be under par. Normally they're like 4 or 5 under. Sometimes they're over par winning them. So it's a difficult tournament to play in because it's in London, or it's in Europe, not London. It's in Europe, and the weather is different there at this time. It's very windy. The last 2 days it rained, so the conditions are a lot different. So it's a difficult tournament to win. So to win it, it's pretty big deal. So congratulations to Brian Harmon for winning that left-handed, which is weird to see, but not very many left-handed golfers on the tour. So that was pretty cool. You have to talk about Bronny James. Don't know if you guys heard about him. He had a cardiac arrest right on the court at USC, their spring practice. was rushed to the hospital, is in stable condition as of now. They're not 100% sure what happened. So best wishes to him. I mean, I always bitch about LeBron James being the GOAT. I mean, he is probably number 2 to Michael Jordan. So, but I mean, to each their own. It's generational. I mean, I know like my grandparents would say, or probably Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, guys like that, John Havlicek. Our generation is going to be Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. This generation is obviously Steph Curry, LeBron James, guys like that. So it's understandable that the younger generation is going to lean towards LeBron. The older generation is going to go towards Michael. It's always going to be that way. But you never wish to have any parent. Now, everybody understands being a parent. You never wish that on anybody. I mean, I wouldn't wish that on my kid. I wouldn't wish that on anybody's kids. My worst enemies. You never want to have to go through something like that. I mean, his heart literally stopped beating. So, and they rushed him to the emergency. I mean, they obviously got his heart started again. He was incredible. He was in the ICU for only, I think, for 24 hours. He's out of ICU now. So, but they're not 100% sure of what's going on, what's going to be going on. So, prayers and everything to LeBron and his wife and their family. Hope to God he gets better. Even if he never plays basketball, he's a great basketball player, not LeBron, Bronny. If he never plays basketball again, just to be able to live a healthy life going forward. I did read a little bit about it just a little while ago. It is actually a common thing for kids to have their heart, it actually grows a little bit faster than, yeah, it was same thing, Kevin. I was kind of shocked at that too. It's called, give me a second. I did pull it up. Hyperthoracic cardiomyopathy is what it technically is called, what he has. And it's just the enlarge of the muscle around the heart. And it's I guess it's pretty common. It's genetic. So it's but I didn't get too much into it at that point. So, but again, like I said, we do wish him speedy recovery. And hopefully someday he gets back on the basketball court. But like I said, if he doesn't, hopefully he's just able to live a normal, healthy life going forward. So that's what any parent wishes for their kid anyways. You all right over there?
The overlords are at it again.
No, gotcha. So that's really all I've got. I mean, there's not much going on baseball-wise. Trade deadline's coming up. So the big thing with that is Shohei, if he's going to be traded or not. So, other than that, the only thing I really can talk about is some wrestling.
Wrestling. Didn't watch NXT last night, which was kind of weird. I normally wind up, and I was watching the Mayans, so let's. Oh, that's true. I didn't get any text messages, did I?
No.
Oh,
Ain't that funny?
How dare you, Corbs, though NFL training camp started.
Yeah, I'm not, to be honest with you, it's training camp. I mean, you got the people that were drafted, some of them signed, some of them holding out. Happens every year. Training camp starts, you got some teams already know they're not going to win. I mean,
the Bills.
no,
They're pretty good.
I told you guys last year within the next 5 years they're going to win a title.
Now is it within the next 4?
Now it's within the next 4. I told you last year at the start 5 years the Bills will have won at least one. And they're coming out of a tough division. You got Patrick Mahomes, you got Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. I mean, you got Tua. Yeah, I mean it's Aaron Rodgers is now in that division, so I mean football's gonna be a little interesting this year. I think the AFC is gonna be a lot better than the NFC. I think the Eagles have got a pretty good shot at going all the way this year. I think they're hands down the best in the NFC. Jack, I'll give you that one right off the bat right now. I don't see anybody being able to knock them off their pedestal.
I hope so. We'll see what happens. Got to
Yeah.
be the best to beat the best, though. We got to win the championship still.
Right. So it'll be interesting. Like I said, I mean, they just started. I mean, the big thing was Saquon was going to hold out, and then he ended up signing his franchise tag.
Did you see what happened, though? He was going to make $10 million with a franchise tag. He signed for an $11 million contract. So one more million. So, but still.
Right. And don't get me wrong, he's going to get paid next year. They signed Daniel Jones this offseason. They signed their left tackle, both to big contracts. He gets his contract after this year. That's my prediction is he'll get his contract. But I've been watching, obviously, because it's the big talk when you watch Sports Center, and I watch Pardon the Interruption most nights when I get home from work, because that's what time I roll in from work. And they're all talking about running backs in the NFL are just, they're a dime a dozen now. You got the next big thing coming up. So, I mean, look at Ezekiel Elliott, signed that big contract with the Cowboys, and they let him go for Tony Pollard. So, you can be replaced.
It's definitely a quarterback league. Justin Herbert just signed last night, 5 years, $265 million.
Yeah.
So everybody's getting paid except the running backs. The running backs need to be compensated a little bit better, but it's unfortunate.
Right.
Like you
and
said.
it's unfortunate because no teams use running backs anymore. It's a quarterback. It's a passing league now. Now, when I grew up watching football, and I know Paul, when you grew up watching football, it was a run heavy league.
Yes.
Like the running backs were the staples. Eric Dickerson, Walter Payton, Marcus Allen, Earl Campbell, all these guys, they were like the big running backs. There was a running back heavy league at that point. Now it's a pass heavy league. You pass to set up the run, or before it was running to set up the pass. I think and this was something that one of the guys on Pardon the Interruption said, if you can find a coach that is willing to stick to the run and take some of these backs, Delvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon, and build an offense around running the football, I think they would have a great success because no team defends the run anymore. They're all trying to defend the pass. So they're going five DBs, 6 DBs. But again, Jack, you watch more football than any of us here.
Yep.
The guys in the defense are a lot faster. They hit a lot harder. So that's the reason why I think everybody's passing the ball. I mean, because your running back can run for 4 yards. I mean, if a running back takes the ball and runs 4 yards every time, that's a first down every single time. If he's averaging 4 yards a carry, it's a first down. If you think about it.
Isn't it safer? Isn't the passing game safer?
Yes and no, to an extent.
Okay.
You're right.
Potentially safer for the players.
It's potentially safer for all players all around. It's safer for the guys on the offensive line. Guys on the offensive line, when you're pass blocking, it's more. And Paul, you can attest this. It's more hand blocking. You're not engaged. You're not holding on.
No, a lot more.
Yeah, a lot more pushing with your hands and stuff like that, and moving with your hands. When you're run blocking now, when I played high school, and I were talking in the 88, 89 in that area before I stopped playing. When you're run blocking, you literally are grabbing on to the shoulder. You hold on inside, right. and that's the technique they teach you. You hold on to the shoulder pads inside. That way you have better leverage and you can
more
move
control.
You can more control. You can move them the way you want to move them. So when you're engaged like that, you have a better chance of this guy coming. If you guys going opposite directions and tripping and blowing out a knee.
Right.
Pass blocking is different because you're just pushing. You're not really doing anything like that. So in essence, Kev, you are right.
I'd be curious. I'd be curious what the injury stats are from when it was a running game versus now it's a passing game. I'd be curious what the injury stats are.
It's a little less, but it's still pretty up there.
And you got to take into consideration they've made upgrades to the football game itself. They're trying to make it better. They're trying to make it safer. They've eliminated the hitting with the crown of the helmet, which has eliminated the concussions. I mean, obviously they're still there. now I can remember guys. I can remember Jim McMahon saying playing with a concussion, like getting thrown to the ground, can barely stand up, can't see, and going back to the huddle and handing the ball off to Walter Payton. I mean, Troy Aikman talks about it all the time. Steve Young talks about it. These guys all talk about playing with concussions. Nowadays, if you get even hit in the weirdest way, they take you off the field.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean,
So that's the difference. Now, back when we were all playing football, the three of us, Jack, you're a little younger than the three of us are.
I couldn't play. I have bad knees, so that
I have bad knees too, but
Mine are bad because of it. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
and I actually got just like Kev's talking about, I got hit run blocking and blew out my knee in 8th grade. So I know what Kev's talking about. You're in such a confined space when you're run blocking. So pass blocking is a little bit simpler because you're upright and you're moving, you're not stationary, and you're not engaged with somebody else. Sometimes you may be, but it's a little different pass blocking as opposed to run blocking.
Mhm.
So we just got into a whole thing about football blocking that
well, I mean, it just seems to me that for a while there, we were hearing about a lot of football players that weren't making it to the end of the season.
Yep.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, is that as common now?
Some players, like Tua, for
yes,
example.
I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
they still get hurt. Still a very physical game. I'm sure they still get hurt, but is it at the same frequency, and is it at the same,
no, I don't
quantity?
think it's at the same frequency. I mean, you're gonna have your freak injuries. You know, Jimmy Garoppolo running down the field, blowing out his knee. That's a freak injury. You know, he didn't get hit. It was just simply running down.
Did he turn quick or something? Did he
No, he
change
just
direction?
he was
Just
he
posted up
landed.
and done. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean,
He-
it does happen. So
It's been said that the top of the food chain football players are at a physical fitness level that is so far beyond what the human body can actually withstand that it's amazing that they make it through any of their training or games at all.
right.
Because I mean, a knee is still a knee. You know, muscles are still muscles. Bones are still as strong as they are. I mean, you can be stronger and bigger, but you know, the bigger and stronger you are, it's just the more force you're putting on, you know, those ligaments and those tendons and those joints. And I mean,
Yeah.
they haven't found a way to strengthen that stuff yet. Right, Paul?
Correct.
So do you want to talk about wrestling, Paul, or
We can talk a little wrestling if you got a couple of points you want to discuss.
Sorry to bring it down, Corb. Sorry to bring it
No,
down.
no,
I'm
no.
just very curious. I was curious about that.
yeah, and you're right. There is, and you're right, Kev. I'd like to know the difference between back when it was a run heavy league as opposed to nowadays when it's a pass heavy league. What's the difference? What's the injury rate difference, if there is any? Was it higher back then? Is it higher now?
Yeah.
I would like to know. Is it? And obviously the concussions you'll never know because they weren't documenting them back then.
Right.
So, I mean, but I would like to know that statistic too, Kevin. That would be something maybe to do a little. I may do a little research on so I can find something for it. So, but
That's cool. That'd be cool.
yeah. So wrestling. I mean, I kind of watched a little bit on Monday night. I saw that Becky's gonna wrestle Trish.
Yes. No tattoos on her body. Yes.
Her face, right?
No, it was across her chest.
Yeah. I
Oh,
would've-
okay.
Yeah, across her chest. It was supposed to going to say thank you, Trish.
Thank you, Trish. Yeah.
Yeah.
What my main takeaway from Monday Night Raw was lots of people are getting hurt, like hurt.
Yeah.
Not like pretend wrestling hurt, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So-
I mentioned to you. I texted you
How?
because you had mentioned something to me on Saturday about Liv Morgan being hurt,
Yep.
and then on Monday night
They wrote her out. Yep. She
they
blew
were
her shoulder out again.
and it was like, oh, it's supposed to be kayfabe injury, but it's a way to get her off of TV for a while. And if it needs to be longer,
Yeah.
then it can be longer.
Now the
So-
bigger one that they're gonna have more trouble addressing is Kevin Owens is out hurt.
That's it.
And you heard, yeah, He hurt his ribs.
He was already hurt before that. That was, again, they took the opportunity to try and write him off, but that's when you put it in the terms of real sports, it's day to day. They're not quite sure what the injury is and the extent of it. So, I mean, they may have to drop those titles that they're so hot with right now. So,
Yeah, that would suck.
it would, because that's a hell of a run they're having with it.
I love that promo they cut with them in the Judgment Day. Great.
I love this new angle they're doing with the KO with where he just flips out every time and he just starts screaming at people.
Yeah, that was one of like the classic ones, I think.
I like it when he gets flustered when people show up when they're not supposed to. The unwritten rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I like the fact that he said he went to say something to Sami Zayn and his voice got really high. Did you get? And he stopped. He's like,
yeah.
Hey. He's like, I'm all flustered.
Yes.
So, how long do you think Dominic keeps that title for?
With the heat it's going to generate for a while, they'll keep it on him for a little while.
You think so?
Maybe.
Now, here's my question. If he drops it, does he drop it to his father, or do you think that angle's just done?
I think they're done with that angle. That's why they moved him off. Like they split them on shows. I think they were finishing that.
Okay, I was wondering if, because obviously they're intermixing between brands again, which I
They
don't
wasted
get.
no time with that. Yeah.
So
Why bother with a draft?
right,
Sorry.
right,
It's all this riveting wrestling talk. Sorry.
Can I ask you a question?
sure.
Sure.
Why was Ronda Rousey in outer space? She
Was
was
she
on
really?
Saturn, like on Saturn or
Mars,
some shit.
supposedly on
Mars?
Mars. Yeah, pretend
Oh, was
Mars.
she in that? Was she
She
in
was
that,
on that reality show. Yes.
that reality show? Like,
Oh, is
on
that what it
Mars?
was?
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't really on. I think they were in like Nevada or something.
Mm.
She was wrestling with some guy. She kicked his ass.
She does have a kid.
Wouldn't be surprised if
believe
she
that's
did.
done. But she's back now too.
Yeah, her and Shane at SummerSlam.
I don't think they were wrestling like that, Paul.
I bet they were.
Get your mind out of the gutter, you fucking
Bet they
pervert.
were.
She's married.
Do you think he's gonna question her?
Well, he's an MMA fighter too. So
No.
I mean,
but we don't. Do we know his name?
She's not an MMA fighter anymore, is she?
Mr. Ronda Rousey.
Mr. Rousey. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why he's not going to question it.
Is Seth going to lose to Finn?
No, I don't see that happening.
Is that he's the only one of that group that doesn't have a title.
Exactly.
I see. I was wondering if Finn and him are going to go like all out,
And then
Finn
cash
beat
in.
him, and then Damon's going to cash in on Finn.
That could be, and it depends though. I mean, do they really want to lose the heat with Judgment Day right now? I mean, like they're one of the hottest groups in there, and they're already disassembling the bloodline. So you
Right.
kind of need your villain group. So
True. I mean, and do you think Jay beats?
I heard a very interesting theory that could hold some weight, because this is tribal combat. So there's no disqualifications, none of that. What if our most famous cousin shows up, interferes in the match, puts the title on Jay? That opens it up for Rock Roman at WrestleMania with no worries about a title.
I heard that too with the writer's strike. That's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I also heard something where Jimmy might come back and cause Roman to lose the title too.
Oh, that's right, because he's supposedly in the hospital, right?
Yep.
Even though I don't watch AEW, I did see Billy Gunn put his boots in the ring. Is he retired now?
It's all up in the air. No one saw that coming. There was no hints of it. Like
Right, I
that
was
was
like,
going to
whoa.
happen. Rumor is that we might see him in 90 days back in WWE in a backstage position.
That guy is so fit. Like he looks better than he did like back in the day. I was like, holy
Right.
shit.
Speaking of AEW, what's up with
Oh.
Jungle Boy?
Jack Perry, no longer the Jungle Boy. Now he's a bad dude. Now he's the FTW champion.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still catching up on AEW. That's all recorded, and I'm trying to catch up. The best thing happening in AEW right now is the Better Than You, baby. I don't know. They've got Adam Cole and MJF
Oh yeah,
as a tag team, and oh my god, that is some of the most entertaining shit in professional wrestling right now.
yeah. I caught some of that.
Oh, I love
I
it.
caught some of it. Like he had him playing video. Adam Cole had MJF playing video games or something like that. Because
Yep.
they were playing AEW All or Nothing, right?
Yep. Fight Forever. Yeah.
Right from yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
They went to. Then they went to a. They go to a restaurant.
A bar or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about a restaurant. Like I said, I'm still a little behind, but they went to a bar, and of course now Adam Cole's a good guy, so like MJF was trying to go hook up with chicks, and Adam Cole stayed by the bar because he is dating or engaged, I'm not sure, to Britt Baker, who's also an AEW wrestler, and so he stayed behind at the bar to hang out with the cameraman while MJF took off with like 4 women. It went from the bar segment to the video games. That was the one night. I'm just, if nothing else, I love their entrances because they come out and they come to the ring, and Adam Cole goes to do his stuff like he normally does, and MJF is literally in the ring running in circles around him until they do the boom. So, they're kind of turning MJF into like a goofy face, and that's great. It's just fucking hilarious. But I don't know how long it works. When does the turn come, and who turns on who? So,
Right.
because this all started as a program with the two of them to have a match for the title, and then they got thrown together as a tag team. So,
That's all I got.
all right. Well, then I think it's time we move it on to story time with Jack.
Story time.
We're still
What about
referencing
Jack's
from 2 weeks
erroneous
ago.
question?
He's
Yeah,
gonna do,
but-
that's what he's really gonna do is trivia time.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
So-
Once upon a time, there was
Take it
4
away.
All right. Once upon a time, there were 4 "Who am I" riddle questions for you guys. So we have 3 people here. We'll work on the 4th one together. So Kev, pick a number between 1 and 4. 2. I'm light as a feather, yet stronger. Yet the strongest man cannot hold me more than 5 minutes. I'm light as a feather, yet the strongest man can't hold me more than 5 minutes.
something that's hot, I think.
I've got this
So-
one already.
I don't know what it is.
Think about
It's your wife's hand.
it.
I don't know. A thought, a clue. I don't know.
No. Take it away, Paul.
You want to give Corbs a chance to guess?
Go ahead and guess. I got no clue.
Breath.
Yep. Paul, 1, 3, or 4?
3.
3. I have no life, but I can die. What am I?
I know what it is.
I have no life, but I can die. A battery.
Oh, 2 for 2.
It could also be light.
Exactly. Corbs, 1 or 4?
4.
4.
4.
The shorter I am, the bigger I am. The shorter I am, the
Yeah.
bigger I am.
Is that a shadow?
No. Do you want to take another guess?
Better, because I don't got this one.
I was about to say you're gonna get them all.
Is it time?
No, I thought it was time at first too, but it's not.
I got nothing.
Paul, do you want to take a guess and make it 3 for 3?
No,
No, he's like, I'm good.
I have nothing on this one.
Kev?
So
I thought he was muted for a second.
I did
Something-
too. I was like,
something-
what the-
if something is short, if it's short, it could be short in stature, it could be short in short-lived, it could be short-tempered. Something is short, it could be big. Short, it could be big. I don't know, Karen's temper?
Temper. You're right. Go with your gut. You're usually right on these. Just go with your gut. You know what these are. Okay. Everybody
it is
work
pretty
together,
good.
and then Corbs, I want you to give me the answer, okay? Yes,
Sure.
you. Yeah, don't text.
Sure. What do you got?
All right, cool. I move around, and sometimes you cheer for me, but I am in desperate need of white powder to get the job done. What am I? I move around, and sometimes you cheer for me. Desperately need of white powder is what I need to perform sometimes. What am I?
Yeah. White powder. White
Oh,
powder
you got
could be
this one?
flour or
Paul
sugar.
looks like he's frozen.
White powder could be
He's writing
flour.
everything down. He's writing all the
So,
questions
so
down.
white powder could be flour or sugar, or it
Or
could
snow.
be snow. Who
I was
cheers?
I was thinking like the powder on a gymnast's hands too.
Okay, like chalk.
Yep.
So what about chalk on a chalkboard? Because chalk is just compressed white powder.
Yeah.
Chalk is.
Yeah.
But who would cheer for someone like a teacher or someone on a chalkboard?
Would you cheer for? I mean, obviously, would you cheer for snow?
I would.
Oh,
But
that's
I
true.
would.
mean,
I
that's-
would not.
One out of
cheer
a
for
million.
Belgium.
There's way more people that would not. Cheer.
Oh, it says I go around. Sometimes you cheer for me. Which would going around led me to the gymnast part of it, because when you go around, you do
Wow.
cheer for them when they're doing their fucking routine.
Is it flour? Is it dough?
It's a snow globe.
Some people cheer for me. People cheer for snow
That's
globes?
what I'm saying. But Corbs has to give the final answer.
Do you think? But that's
You
not
all
white
got to
powder.
agree and go with.
That's not
Corbs.
white powder that's in there, though. It's typically, it's not powder. It's, I don't know. It's little plastic pieces.
Kev, I really like how you go in depth with these. Like you really think long and hard. It's very impressive. You would have been a good student if I was a teacher. I'm very
It's
impressed with your
dough.
work
It's
ethic.
something to do with dough. But how do you cheer for bread? I mean, do you
The
cheer
pi-
for bread? You
Pizza
cheer.
dough? Pizza dough?
10, 9, 8, it's done.
When they throw it up, you spin it around.
La mamma mia, pizza pie. All right, what do we got? What do
Say
Corbs?
it. So can you say your thing again, Jack?
Yep. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I move around, and sometimes you cheer for me. Desperately need of white powder to do what I need to do to get the job done. What am I?
There's other ways
Okay.
to cheer. Cheer doesn't necessarily mean somebody is chanting or shouting.
Mhm. I don't know why I give the thumbs up. That's weird. All right, 10 seconds.
I'm gonna say
9.
pizza. I think it's
Eight.
pizza.
You all got to go to Corbs though to submit the
Corbs.
answer.
That's my only thing.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think-
thinking the same thing now, Kevin. I'm thinking pizza too.
I
Go
don't
with
know
it.
what else
You
it
know.
could be.
8, 7.
Or bread. It's some kind of bread that cooks in an oven because it needs
Go with the
flour.
pizza.
Yeah.
Pizza dough.
Pizza dough's your guess?
Yeah.
One of you was correct, and it's definitely not pizza dough. It's a gymnast.
A gymnast. Oh, it goes
You
around.
had
Okay.
it.
I was
Look
like,
at that.
God, you got all my questions right tonight. Almost there.
God damn it.
All right. Story time now. And in 1908, the FBI was founded. 1941, the United States froze all of Japanese assets. And in 1947, President Truman signs the National Security Act. And a little birthday wishes to our friends. Jason Statham is 56. Sandra Bullock is 59. And Jeremy Piven is 58. Back to
They're all
Paul.
actors. They're all actors. We don't give a fuck about any of them.
Oh,
They're all out of work right now. So,
They are all at
Sure.
work. That's
Everybody's out of work.
all right. Now, before we throw it to break, I'm going to give you guys your weekly topic.
Uh-oh.
You only get one. Got it?
Oh,
So-
I'm taking more.
So, what genre of music would you choose to listen to for the rest of your life?
Oh, it's fucking easy.
Oh, it's easy.
Okay, good. Well, you can tell me how easy as it was when we come back after the break. Stick with us, guys. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a keyback issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore, located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking. Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics.
Hi, this is Craig Palmer. If you ever aspire to be a wrestler, come on down to Upstate Wrestling Entertainment, located at 1121 Glenwood Avenue in Mayans, New York. We're open every Tuesday and Thursday from 6:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. Come on down and join us. See you then.
Sci-Fi Horror Fest is coming August 25th and 26th at the Vernon Downs Convention Center in Vernon, New York. Event hours Friday 3 p.m. until 9 p.m. Saturday 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. Heroes and Villains After Party for VIP ticket holders Friday night from 9:30 until 12:30 a.m. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is a 2-day genre event with the greatest collection of vendors, celebrities, and unique attractions in upstate New York. Get your tickets today at www.sci-fi-horrorfest.com.
All right, we're back, and that music means it's time for the weekly topic. Let me reiterate. You only get to choose one. What genre of music? One genre of music would you choose to listen to for the rest of your life? Forever. Take it
Does it
away.
have to be like a certain, like, be a genre? Can it be an artist?
Mine's going to surprise you.
Interpret however you'd like. It says genre, but
All right, whatever.
okay.
Go for it.
Me go first?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know. I have a feeling this is classic rock, but it would have to have Roy Orbison in there somewhere.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I didn't know. I thought you were a U2 guy. I thought you were a Bono boy.
I like U2 a lot. I really do. But if I could only listen to one artist, or one specific genre of music,
It's
it would
Roy Orbison.
have to have Roy Orbison in it.
I guess it would be classic rock.
It is, but he doesn't. I mean, he's
More
listed in
like
that.
Would it be more of like a rock? Because rock would encapsulate, I would assume, classic rock. Wouldn't you agree? If that's a genre,
That's a pretty
rock?
big. It is a genre. Yes,
It
that's
is.
a pretty big umbrella.
They actually
yeah.
call his kind of music. They call it something else.
It's like, yeah, it's like you have the Big Bopper. You want like Chubby Checker.
Rockabilly.
Mm,
Rockabilly.
Rockabilly. There you go.
there you
Yeah,
go.
so it would be Roy Orbison, the Big Bopper, Buddy Holly, Richie Valens.
Oh yeah. Oh
those,
yeah.
those guys would all be incorporated into
Chubby
that.
Checker.
Something
There
I
you
like to
go.
call oldies.
Okay, there you go.
All right.
That's mine. I'm on a desert island. I have a radio with unlimited battery power. And oh, by the way, batteries do have life. So my answer was actually correct, and batteries was not. So it's Rockabilly.
Nice.
All right. Check.
All right. So I guess everyone's saying classic rock, but like with my classic rock though playlist, I would have my favorite band Rush. You have to have Rush in there, The Doors, Journey, Survivor. I really like Survivor. I've been really into them for the last 10 years. I can name like about 50 songs now because like I just listen to them so much. Motley Crue for sure. You just gotta have like some good classic rock in there for sure. And then just every time I listened to it, I was like, this is classic rock. It's always, I remember my dad was like, these are the good songs. This is what you got to listen to. So listening to that, my dad, when it was on Napster, BearShare, LimeWire, he literally made the CDs.
I don't know what any of those are.
They're where you can download music back in the early 2000, late 90s.
Nope, never heard of them.
You
Nope.
never
Heard of them. I
I
never
always
had
just
my
went to-
ISP. I never had security from my ISP call me directly and tell me that they were on my network either. Never
Knock
heard
it
of them.
off.
No, but literally my dad would make his CDs and they would say like good stuff 2, good stuff 3. I was like, oh, my dad made a Christmas album, Xmas stuff. So literally it was like 30 CDs of like classic rock, but it was just like all the good stuff. And I was like, I really love all these songs now.
I'm glad
and all
you
these
said
bands.
that. I would like to tell you about something since that's what you like.
What?
Spotify.
Yo,
Spotify has a Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2, 3 playlist. Check it out. It's fucking amazing. Anyway, go ahead.
Awesome.
No, that's perfect. That'll be my next playlist that I want to download and look into and put it on my phone. Thank you, Kev. All right, Corbs.
I'm gonna go like Jack. I'm going big picture. I'm going rock and roll. I want everything from the Doors, the Beatles, my favorite band Led Zeppelin, all the way up through like Metallica, Motley Crue, Toto, stuff like that. I mean, I'm talking about all rock. I love rock.
no.
Africa.
Hold the line.
Africa.
Yep. So I mean, that's the music I grew up listening to. My son now listens to it. I've got him listening to some of it. He's got his own taste in music and stuff like that. But I did get him into, he does like Led Zeppelin, which makes me happy because I would listen to Led Zeppelin through and through. So mine is just rock and roll. I'm a big fan of rock and roll all the way up from, like I said, from like the Doors, the Beatles, Roy Orbison, Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, all the way through up until like mid-90s. I wasn't a big fan of grunge music. Not a big fan of Pearl Jam and Nirvana and all that stuff. So when it get to grunge rock, then it would I wouldn't really be into that. But
So on his magic radio, he's just tuning off of those ones as soon as it hits.
seriously, when you live in a house with 3 other dudes, you're the 4th dude, and they play Pearl Jam on repeat for 2 straight weeks.
I see this as an absolute win.
It would suck, Corbs. I agree.
Pearl Jam is my all-time favorite band. So that was a bad example here.
I didn't mind it. until that.
Until week 2. It's like-
Until about 10 days in, when I had my stereo in the living room and they were using my stereo to play it, and I was literally took my stereo and put it in my room. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm done. 2 straight weeks of it wasn't like all Pearl Jam albums. It was just one album on repeat for 2 straight weeks.
well,
And
which
this is
album?
what-
I mean, honestly.
I can't, to be honest with you, it was like one of their big albums. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was the red cover one. I don't fucking know.
The red one, probably the self-titled, probably had Alive and Even Flow and all that on it.
There's that one.
Yep.
And I enjoyed that music until
then.
Mhm.
until then.
Mhm.
And now I can't stand Pearl Jam.
Which is understandable. Like if you're forced to listen to the same fucking thing for 2 weeks straight, yeah,
Yep.
that's gonna squash it for anybody.
Yeah.
But oddly enough, that rolls into mine, which would have been the grunge era of alternative music.
Paul's like, mine is such a letdown.
No, I mean everybody basically picked the same thing. Some form of rock and roll is what it was, and that says a lot about who we all are as middle-aged white men. So this wasn't the most exciting weekly topic. And guys, what are you watching? More
Before
programming
we-
for middle-aged white
Before
men.
we go there, I just want to tell Corbs, I used to like the movie Dirty Dancing. I had a roommate that watched it on repeat.
Oh,
If he was sitting, and this was when I was in the
Wait,
service, he well, I mean, I was in the service, so
don't
I
ask,
mean,
don't tell. That's true.
well, no, I mean,
dude,
He-
what the?
look,
fuck?
I don't know. Maybe he had a thing for Patrick Swayze. I don't know, but I honestly think he had a thing for Jennifer Grey. But whatever,
I mean, if it's a
Doesn't matter.
Swayze thing,
Doesn't
shouldn't you
matter.
be watching Roadhouse?
on repeat.
Mm.
If we were in our barracks, he was watching that movie. Anyway,
Eh,
go ahead.
okay.
Well, that's funny because back right post college when it was the early 20s something guys living together, we didn't have cable where I lived. And we would come home from work every day with our 12-pack of alcohol selections, and I would look at my roommate who was my cousin and say, "So,
Damn,
Would-
nice booty.
which one are we watching tonight?" And there were 3 options. It was Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, or Return of the Jedi.
I
Like
think
that
it
was
was
perfect.
every fucking
That's-
night.
That's a beautiful thing, is what that is.
We
Yeah,
loved it on
But
VHS
I'm saying,
too.
you were watching the same movie over, like on repeat for weeks.
Daily, yes.
I thought you were.
I can watch all 3 of those movies every day.
Right.
But if
We'd
you
mix it up, yeah.
if you tell me I've got to watch Star Wars,
Just Star Wars.
just Star
every
Wars
day.
every
Yeah.
day,
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
I also wouldn't have a problem with it.
Would not have a problem with that. I'd be more than happy to just watch that on repeat. No problem.
Paul, I thought you were leaning towards, because like you were going to say the trilogy, but my mind went elsewhere. You're like, we have Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Roadhouse.
That would have been awesome.
It's like, where's Return of the Jedi? We have Roadhouse though.
Roadhouse.
So,
And clearly that was before I owned a copy of Clerks. So
well, that's when the girls come over. It's like we have Star Wars, Empire, and Roadhouse.
How old were you when you found Kevin Smith? Because it's obviously a love affair.
It's his man crush.
he's my idol. I'm not gonna lie. I'll call it what it is. He always has been from the moment. And it was 95 the first time I saw it. It came out in 94. I saw it in 95 when home video was the first thing for it.
Okay.
And it really did inform my sense of humor, oddly enough. I mean, so
you rented it from Blockbuster.
no, my buddy had rented it from somewhere, came over and he's like, "You've got to see this."
Huh,
And obviously then
interesting.
it was Clerks. So, and it's from there. So
Huh.
the first one I saw in theater was Dogma.
99.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were going to say something, Jack.
No, that's it. That's all I was
Oh.
gonna say. I'm good. No, I was going to
Oh,
mention what we're watching. I was going to.
We're going on to another topic. Yeah. What are we watching? I don't know.
All right. So I mentioned this already with my love affair of Timothy Oliphant. Justified City
Justified.
Primeval. Oh my God. 3 episodes in. Oh, come on. Such a great show. It's really cool because like the episode starts with his daughter. They're going on vacation. I looked this up. This is his daughter in real life that he's actually doing this with. That's really
Ew.
cool. So they actually asked him for this, and he's actually put his input into the show. Every episode, it's jam packed. It's TVMA. This needs to be on like a nice like HBO Max or like a one of those streaming services, because I know FX is doing it. They did the original Justified, but it's really good how it's really well done. But I really would love to see if they incorporate some of the old cast and say, oh, let me call my old sheriff, or like, let me call my old buddy back in Kentucky or something like that. So
You
that's
watched
a
the
really
original?
Oh my God, yes, of course I did. Did you watch the original, Corbs?
I caught some of it. I started watching it again on Hulu because I want to watch Primeval. So
if you want to watch it, I do own the box set of Justified. I only got it on Hulu, but if you want the box set, I got that too.
I'll probably watch it. I watch it on Hulu when I get a free minute.
Sure. The last thing I'm watching, like I told you guys, if I didn't want to be a teacher, I actually liked forensic sciences. So I'm watching Autopsy: The Last Hours of again. So I was really enthused this week. I dove really back into the Kennedy curse. So JFK Jr., for example, we all know he died in 1999 with his wife, his sister-in-law in a plane crash. So there's files out there now. He apparently had dyslexia and ADHD. So that may have played a part into his flying when he was flying at night. His gauges, he was flying over the Atlantic Ocean when he should have been flying over the coastline where he could see the lights. So he may have had ADHD or dyslexia. So that could have played a part into his plane crash. And another one was on Jackie Kennedy. It was never diagnosed. She died of lymphoma in her back or something like that.
Huh.
So, apparently, when this makes sense, after JFK was assassinated, like all of his blood and his guts are right on her dress. She had undiagnosed post-traumatic stress disorder,
Well,
PTSD.
yeah, that makes sense.
Well,
yeah.
It was never diagnosed.
Well,
So
back in the
they
60s,
didn't really
of
know
course
what
not.
it was then.
Yeah.
they really
exactly.
didn't. But that's what's kind of cool about that. This show, if you guys got the channel Reels, check this show out. This is pretty cool. This is Dr. Michael Hunter. He goes into details. Like I watched one on James Garner recently, James Gandolfini, John Candy. There's so many he's done. It's really, really cool how he does this. But literally when Jackie Kennedy, because JFK used it because he had Addison's disease, they called him Dr. Feelgood. So he would give him like injections, and Jackie Kennedy would take the same injections as JFK.
Sure.
So it was kind of interesting. So watching Justified and then diving deeper into my forensic sciences, Autopsy: The Last Hours of. Short and simple.
Nice.
What about you, Kev?
I mentioned it earlier. I think I don't know if we were recording at the time. Kathy, the wife, she's caught up on Clone Wars. She started Rebels. 2 episodes in, she looks at me and she's like, "Oh my God!" I mean, she just loves Rebels, and I told her that. I said, I had watched Rebels first, and then went back and watched Clone Wars. Obviously, the wrong order, but it's fine. Whatever. She absolutely loved Clone Wars. Watched, episode 3, went back to Clone Wars, understood the whole, Order 66 and where that fell in. And it was a nice introduction to Bad Batch and all of that wonderful stuff. And then, now she's in Rebels and she's like, these characters are fantastic. They're, great stories, you can get behind them. She's in love with it. So we're doing that. The reason is she's getting ready for Ahsoka. She wants more of the backstory. She wants to understand. She wants to go to the next celebration. She wants to go to the next There's an event in California next year we're going to go to. The folks that I met out there, they're having an event, so we're going to go to that. She really wants to be able to have conversations with people that know the story and understand it and understand the content. And and the more she consumes of the animated stuff, the more she understands, the backstory. And one of the things she said to me, and this, I had the same feelings. Is she came out of Clone Wars and she's like, "Oh my God!" She goes, "I love Anakin. He was such a great person, and he was right. Everything he said and everything he did was right, but things went down the wrong way." And she goes, "Anakin and Darth Vader, two different people." She goes, "There's no way I'm ever going to relate to them again." I said, Don't forget what happened in Return of the Jedi. Luke brought him back." She's like, "Yep, still two different people." So that's very fun to watch. It's very fun to be a part of that. It's a great roller coaster to be riding again. Just I love seeing her consume it for the first time. So that's great.
Did she
Nice.
have real quick?
Go ahead.
Did she? Are you going to give her Tales of the Jedi?
We already watched Tales of the Jedi.
She watched that before Clone Wars.
Well, yeah, we
Okay.
watched a lot of stuff out of order, and she's having a real hard time with it, trying to fit stuff in, because she's not really as into it as I am, so she doesn't really put the whole thing together. But we talk about it afterwards. We're like, okay, well, this is where this sits, and this is how this played out in The Mandalorian, and this is where Ahsoka came from, and this is what she was doing, and this is what she's doing now, and this is how she probably met Luke. Oh, I get it. And this is where Bad Batch falls in, and this is where they started. And oh, by the way, the young man that ran away in the beginning of Bad Batch, you're going to figure out who he is soon. Oh, I don't remember that. Oh, we'll watch Bad Batch again. Don't worry about it. So, all this stuff kind of falls in and plays in, and she's having difficulty putting it in timeline. We look at the timeline every so often and get back on track. So she's starting to understand, and she's getting the backstory. The one thing she really got out of it was Dave Filoni created one of the most loved characters in Star Wars. And now she understands how it happened.
Wow.
Anyway, I couldn't talk to her through the whole 7th season of Clone Wars. I couldn't even talk to her. I'm like, no, you got to give me a day or so, and then we'll talk about it later. So anyway, I'm telling you, I was right into the series. I bought right into it. So the story was awesome. She loved it too. I had an opportunity to watch a movie that I had been passing off for a while. Kathy's out of town, so I'm sitting here. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, flipping through. Want to watch a movie that I didn't really think she'd give a shit about. I watched Rampage.
Oh my God, I loved Rampage.
Okay.
It was good. It was good. I love the interaction between George and I forget the Rock's character's name, but Davis. I love the interaction, and right at the very end is the fucking total payoff. It's a total payoff.
Yeah.
It was funny. It was just funny enough, and it was really good. I don't know. It's been out a long time. I can say anything I want about the movie, right?
Yes.
I love the part where the fucking alligator rips the fucking wolf's head off. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. It was hilarious. I was having a good time. Anyway, that's all I got.
Nice.
The alligator's name was Lizzie, and the wolf is Ralph, by the way.
The alligator was Lizzie?
Yes.
Yep.
Because this was based off an old arcade game.
I did not know.
Yes.
Yes.
Was it really?
Yes.
Yeah, this old Rampage game.
Loved that game.
With
That was a
George,
great game.
he had to break buildings
Yeah. And eat people.
Eat people, eat the army guys.
You yank them out of the thing. And...
Yeah. They have a new one out right now that you can play.
Is there?
Oh,
Yeah,
no
it's actually a different.
shit.
Uh-oh. Corbs. You're
Corbs
frozen.
is like this.
Oh, I broke Corbs. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
That's a cool picture, though. We got to get a
It is.
screenshot.
I'll get
That
one.
should be your screenshot for the week.
Can you still hear me though?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
you
we
can.
still
Oh,
hear you.
you can still hear me. Okay.
All right,
That's
everybody
I
do
am
your
frozen
corpse
though. I don't
pose.
get that.
I didn't
That's
know it
my-
was an old video game. I didn't
It
know
is.
that.
That's only because
That's
my
a great
PC is a
game.
piece of crap. I've had my PC since we graduated ITT, Cole.
Oh damn! Yeah, it's time to upgrade, man.
Yeah, yeah. Every time to upgrade. So me and my cool picture here.
It's beautiful.
So I watched a couple of different things. So I finished up Mayans. I wasn't really impressed with the final season.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. It just didn't seem to really watching it. At the end, the very end of the very end. I mean, they end up killing just about everybody.
Oh damn!
Yeah. Angel, which is the main character's brother, his girlfriend is working for the cartel. She ends up getting killed. Easy and Angel's father ends up getting killed. A couple guys from the club end up getting killed. But the big one, the shocker was they killed off Easy, just like they killed off Jax. And he
Mhm.
didn't die in a motorcycle accident. He his thing in the TV show was he had a photographic memory.
Okay.
He remembered everything. He had an eidetic memory. Like if he read something, he remembered it. He read a lot of Shakespeare. So the way he died was all the guys in the club. Like he was a rat. Started out as a rat. He was working with the feds, and all the guys in the club that were still left. Now they had lost a lot of guys between the start of the season, start of the series, and the end of the series. Every one of them, including his brother, stabbed him.
Nice. So
Oh, my
Caesar.
God.
Yeah, so he died like Julius Caesar. So the club forced his brother to kill him to prove that he wasn't a rat.
Right.
His brother was working with the feds also.
Ah.
So, but he got roped into it. He got suckered into it because something that happened with Easy, and his brother ended up stepping in, and then he ended up having to work with the feds too. So, but Easy told his brother, like, look, you need to do this. You have a son. You have to be with your son. If this means you have to kill me to be with your son, then you have to do this. Like he didn't let them know that he knew like he was a rat too. He just basically said, look, this is what it's got to be. And he looked at him and said, I'm okay with it. If this gets you out of the club, then I'm okay with it. So there was like 7 guys. All 7 guys stabbed him. And then they show the aftermath. Obviously, the guys are all sitting around the club, the table at the club, and the feds raid the clubhouse. And Easy's dead, obviously, and his brother got out. So he'd gotten out from it. So that's how it ended. The ending was a little bit better than I expected, but the season itself was garbage.
Gotcha.
So and then I've been watching season 4 of Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh yeah.
So there've been some pretty good episodes. First one was about Chris Candido and Tammy Lynn Sitch, which was pretty good. They were high school sweethearts,
Yep.
and how they were obviously most wrestlers end up addicted to pain medication. So they go and tell you about that story. The next one is about Magnum TA. I don't know if you remember who he is from the early.
Do.
Yeah, he was like on the rise. He was going to be bigger than Hogan. They had pictures of him being bigger than Hogan, and he was basically paralyzed in a car crash.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows how he's now able to walk, but he walks with a limp. He never wrestled again.
Right.
So that one was pretty good. Next one I didn't know this, but there was a group of guys in Florida called the Grahams, Eddie Graham,
Mm-hmm.
and Mike Graham. They had a
Their own promotion.
Yeah, down in Florida.
Yep.
And they both ended up killing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
God.
So that's it. So it goes about like how did he break that cycle and stuff like that. And they go through tragedies and how your father never tells you that you're any good type of thing, and that always played on a role between the two of them, which was kind of weird, which was kind of nice, but it was kind of weird too. Then there was the next one after that was about Doink.
Oh,
Mm.
Matt Bourne or just the character of Doink itself?
Well, the whole just the character,
Okay,
and it was
that was
about
a few different people.
Yeah, it was about the first guy.
Okay,
That did him and how he brought him to life. Like the first guy brought him to life, he was he was like a street kid.
okay.
He wasn't like a goof or anything like that. They said that he wasn't even that guy.
Oh, and we
No,
lost him.
That was
No.
it. Poor
Ah.
Corbs.
he gone.
We'll
Pour one
probably-
out for Corbs.
It's empty. Yeah. I'll probably get a text message from him saying that his computer crashed or something in a minute.
Yeah.
That's too bad because that was interesting stuff right there.
Yeah.
And
It
I don't
was.
have anything to go into. The only thing I got to watch was episode 3 of Secret Invasion.
Is that a good show? Should I get into it?
I like it. It's a whole lot of spycraft is what it is. Oh, here's the text message.
Well, that's what what's his name was all about there.
Nick Fury.
Yeah, Fury is all about spycraft.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, that's where he came from. That was his background.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right.
Yeah. He thinks we all froze. I said, no, you disconnected. But what the
Do
hell
we
that
pour?
was?
Do we drop? Do you want to drop a nugget or?
I think
Wait a
it's
minute.
time.
Weren't you
Okay,
say?
what?
Didn't you say something about Walking Dead, Paul?
No, I
Right.
said I haven't watched any. Like I'm
Oh.
episodes behind on that too.
I got
Um,
renewed for a second season. I
saw that.
I still don't care.
Was
I
that
still
Dead
don't.
City?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
new one.
It's actually pretty good, but I haven't had time to keep up with it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Negan. That's Negan and
Maggie.
Maggie.
Yeah.
Maggie.
All right, Paul.
Have you seen the
What about
previews for the
Maggie?
one for
Daryl Dixon.
Daryl?
Yeah.
I saw there was a preview. And
It was a good preview.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah, he ends up in France.
yeah.
Yep.
How he ended up on a boat, I'll never know, but because I'm not going to go back and watch the old one.
Well, you don't have to because they never reference it.
They don't.
So they're gonna have
Are
to
you
talk it up in the
fucking
new
kidding
one.
me?
Nope.
No, they don't.
When they ended it, none of these they never reference any of these spin-offs.
It literally just shows him going away on his motorcycle in the season finale, in the series finale. It's like,
Yeah.
Well,
how'd you get?
have you seen the other trailer with Michonne and
Yeah, they're getting a
and
show
Rick?
too. Yeah,
Is that a show or a movie?
show.
Oh,
Oh,
They switched gears. It was supposed to be the Rick movie, and then they changed it. So
whatever.
right.
all right, Paul. Why don't you drop a nugget for Hugh?
What's your nugget,
drop,
yo?
All
and then
right.
Drop the nugget for Corbs too.
So I saw a guy at the beach yelling, "Help! Shark, help!" I just laughed. I knew the shark wasn't gonna fucking help him. Good night, everybody, and megabyte me, bitches.
This has been a GeekPod Network production.